I'm Detective Chris Rakes with the Winston-Salem Police Department. I work in the Criminal Investigations Division as a homicide detective, where I've been for a little over 8 years now. My normal day starts with a trip to the coffee pot for a cup of coffee, where then we usually congregate at our cubicle where we discuss, whose case we're going to be working on, what each person's going to be doing that day, and then after we get our game plan together, we'll either leave out on our separate ways or, grab our partner and head out and, start doing our investigating or, whatever we're doing, interviews. That it varies from day to day what it will be. I work with Detective Bowles. He is my on-call partner. So when we start a case together, we usually end up working that case together throughout the entirety of that case. My favorite thing about Detective Bowles is we just kind of meshed really good when he came to the unit. When we get in the interview room together, we've always had good success. It's kind of like if I'm not talking, he knows when to come in and start talking, and then kind of vice versa. When he's kind of running the interview, then, I sort of know when it's my time to talk. And I think that's been probably one of our biggest areas of success has been in the interview room. I'd say the most rewarding part of this job is bringing cases to a successful closure, whether that be, making an arrest in the case, or at least finding out the facts of what happened in that case, and then deciding from there whether there will be charges made. Sometimes people's actions are justified. Probably the biggest challenge we face is the lack of cooperation from citizens. If you see something, say something. And I know a lot of people get hung up on this, not snitching, but the only way we can get these people off the street is for help from the citizens, because they're there when it happens. We're not there when it happens. So that is our best evidence when we go to court, is a first-hand witness. And you can't beat that. Somebody telling us what they saw with their own eyes, especially when a lot of times people who have seen it won't even tell us when they know the person. Even if they do, they'll say they haven't seen anything. If you can't help us get these bad guys off the street, this type of behavior is just going to continue in your neighborhood. No matter whether that be a homicide, right down to just, kids fighting. If you don't tell us who it is, there's nothing we can do about it. If I was going to give some advice to a young officer who had aspirations of coming to CID as a detective, it would be, when you get your case, work your case. Look into all the leads that you have until you can't look anymore, and then hand that case off only if you have to. When you hit the streets as a patrol officer, like all of us do, you're going to start out getting house break-ins and robberies and everything, because patrol is always the first ones to the scene on every call, whether it be anything from a homicide to a fight on the street. When you get these cases, work them as much as you can. Find out as much information as you can on that incident, whatever it is, so that way when you have to send that report down, these sergeants in our unit, no matter what unit it is, they're going to read these reports, and they're going to see the people who take these investigative actions to do as much work as they can on the case before they send it off. And in other cases, when you can work that case yourself, if it's a house break-in, a robbery, store break-in, that officer, if they can, work it yourself from start to finish. Come down to CID, talk to us. We'll be glad to help you with anything that we can, until it gets to a point. If you have to hand it off, then obviously we'll pick it up and run with it. If you can make the arrest, then make the arrest.